Welcome back. I'm doing a little chat here about my new pipe and a book, a couple of books actually. This is a Savinelli Mili brand, handcrafted in Italy, beautiful pipe. And let me make sure I keep this going. For you pipe smokers out there like Rick at 007 Piper, Gary Dobbs, I know you guys smoke much more than I do. I mostly smoke in the summer. But I thought I'd try this new pipe out. I'm still getting the feel of it. It has a balsa filter, which is really interesting. And this is a very smooth pipe. I only have about 5 pipes in my collection here. Most of them are cheaper than this. But this has a smooth draw for a short stem, and it's beautiful looking, and it's very nice. I'm really glad I bought it. And I bought it from Robert Graham on Rose Street in Edinburgh, which is right across from Dirty Dick's Pub, which is by itself a great place to swig beer, and I've done a lot of that. I was going to swig beer today, but I have something going on later. So I'll smoke now and drink later. So I wanted to, give a nod to the pipe smokers on YouTube with this. I do watch a few channels, and I'm interested in the different tobaccos and different pipes. Like I said, I think I have five pipes here that I own. I have a couple of cheaper ones like Whitlocks. I have 2 Whitlocks, I think. And it's, it suits its purpose. But it's good to smoke a pipe. It was very nostalgic for me to smoke one because my uncle, whom I was very close to, used to smoke Captain Black Cherry every day, which incidentally is what's in here. I know some of you guys are going, come on, you got a better tobacco than that. Well, it is what it is, bucko. There is a pipe shop in Arlington Heights I'm going to go to. They have a good selection of tobacco, and I'm going to stock up for the summer. When I'm fishing, I like to smoke a pipe afterward when I'm having a pint. So we're going to keep it going. I really packed it. I probably packed it too tight. The topic today is why I'm not doing an episode on the Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger. I was going to do a beautiful episode on the Lone Ranger. Books and comics and all that. And it's not going to happen now because of a sad story I'm about to tell you. So, I have to get used to smoking and talking. There's a author out there who does pop culture histories. And I'm not going to mention his name. But he did a very good, very fat book with another guy in the history of the Lone Ranger. And then he came out with volume 2. I read the first one. Now, this author is noted for his historical research and all that good stuff. His research and writing skills are impeccable. So, I'm not going to... There we go. I'm not going to take that away from him. So I read the first book. I thought it was great. And then, you'll remember, I injured myself. And I ordered the second volume directly from him on his website. And never got it. And never heard from him. I emailed him. I'm giving you the short version. Emailed him, contacted him through Messenger and blah, blah, blah. Nothing. I checked with my neighbors. I believe it was shipped, and I believe it was misdirected. Neighbors don't have it. Where'd the book go? Don't know. It was a $48 book. It's a big, fat book. And I was really excited because my intention was to do a big episode promoting his historical work for him. I know him personally. I've met him at conventions, and you people that go to the pulp conventions, you know this guy too. And I was wondering what happened, why isn't he answering my emails and my messages? And because I wanted to know, obviously if you have a book misdirected, you contact the shipper and you get reimbursed, and then he could have sent me another one, but he never even answered me. So I thought, okay, I'm the type of guy, I give people a chance to do what they need to do, because people go through shit in life. We all do. And having met him, I don't know him very well at all, but I met him, I've talked to him over the years here and there. And I thought it was odd he never answered me. So finally, when I did get an answer, it was through AI. Somebody named Christine, I think, answered me, and using AI to answer me, and it was the most condescending, rude email you could get from somebody when you're asking them a question about a problem with something you bought from them, a book that's gone missing. And it came down to, he's very busy, he's too busy to answer you, he's doing this and that, and he's going to get this other business going, and blah, blah, blah. He's so great, he's wonderful, he's busy. So, I thought, okay, he's a jerk. Not the brightest move, let's say, to have somebody respond with artificial intelligence on an email when he could have done it himself in less than 30 seconds. So, I'm thinking, okay, he's going through some shit, whatever. And I responded, thank you, let him know when he has time to check into this for me, because I never received the book. Nothing happened. Months go by, and I sent several other inquiries, nothing. Finally, I responded to that AI email. Is he going to answer me or what? And nothing. So I sent another message saying, my time and money is just as valuable as his, and I'd like a refund. And she answered that one through AI. I'll ask him what to do about getting you a refund. And then a month goes by and nothing. No refund. So I ended up getting a refund through PayPal by filing a complaint against him, because I paid through his website with PayPal, and I got the refund. So, okay, he's very important and he's very busy. Condescending email. I never really picked up on that when I met him years back, but kind of a, strange. You people at the pulp conventions, him. He's whatever. Anyways, I was curious. I get my refund. I thought I should put that behind me, but I know the guy, and it just strikes me as unprofessional that he wouldn't answer me, and he would do so through AI with another party to blow me off. In other words, he's not going to do anything. My problem is that I spent the money with him direct. So I got the refund, and I started making discreet inquiries around the people that I know from the pulp fiction conventions. And what happened? The lighter's gone? What I discovered was, much to my surprise, he's not well liked. And I should not have been surprised, but I was. I never picked up on it with him personally. I remember once he made a rude comment about something, but we all have our days, And my hand is always extended in friendship. So I find out, it turns out that this guy, people are telling me, don't do business with him. He has a lot of irons in the fire with his business ventures. Not just his website selling his books, but in conventions and publishing and stuff. He has a lot going on. And another retail operation, which apparently is what kept him from answering me, which I never got an answer. Even after I complained and got a refund through PayPal, I never heard from him. So I started asking people, what's going on? And basically, he's an asswipe, is what I'm being told. Don't do business with him. Don't trust him. He's a cocky little know-it-all. I was surprised, and I should not have been. I should not have been surprised. After you're treated that way, he didn't even make an effort to look into what happened to the missing book. highly unusual for a guy that is noted for his research and writing skills, and in that regard, he has a good reputation. One-on-one as a man, he's lacking in manhood. That's what I discovered when I talked to people. I saw it happening in front of me, and, he's a jerk. So, it's a shame that he chose to do that, because now the one book that I had, I got rid of. I gave it away, and I'll never buy any of his books again. And I'm telling people, don't buy his books direct. If you need to read something, and he is a good researcher and writer, do it through another venue. One-on-one, other people told me, don't deal with him. He's a jerk. So okay, and I didn't pry. I got a little insight into why they think he's a jerk. I'm not going into that. I don't want this to be a gossip thing. It's just a warning to be careful who you admire and are doing business with in the publishing industry, with authors or with anyone, because to treat people like that, that's about as bad. That's as bad as it gets. That's about as low as you can go, is to ignore people that are trying to help you with your business. I was going to do a major episode here about his two superbly researched and written books. I never got to read the second one because I never got it. I'm sure it was great. And that's kind of a negative thing, It's like, come on, really? So people were talking to me about him. I said, look, have you ever had problems with this guy? Oh, yeah. He's got a mouth. He thinks he knows everything. Blah, blah, blah. Just avoid him. He's a little cocky know-it-all. Those are the phrases used with me when other people were talking about him. So lesson learned. You won't see me doing an episode about him, which is a shame for him. That it's a shame that he lost me by acting less than a man. He is a man without a moral backbone. If you don't have a moral backbone in life, if you don't have a sense of decorum and manners, and you're willing to extend your hand in friendship to people of all types, then you're a loser. So too bad for him, because it would have been great to include his books in the Lone Ranger episode with the comics and the paperbacks and the old Grosset and Dunlap hardbacks that I have and blah, blah, blah. I was really looking forward to doing it, and he ruined it for himself. And again, I'm not mentioning his name because I know you people in the pulp community, a lot of you watch this channel, you go to the same conventions I used to go to, and I may again. I'll see him again one day. Too bad for him when that happens. But, it's kind of like, what happened to you? Did they drop you as a kid? What in the name of God is wrong with you? Especially when you know somebody professionally and you've talked to them and you had friendly chats with them. And, it was only a $48 book. I say only, that's a lot of money for a book. And again, the episode won't happen because he ruined it for himself. So, I feel bad because, excuse me while I smoke this beautiful pipe. My hand, as I mentioned, is always extended in friendship. Nothing better than to be friendly with people. Even if we have different views on things, that's okay. But, I don't know. It's just a shame. So, the Lone Ranger episode will happen at a later date without the two big fat history books, which are, the first one I read was great. They will be omitted. You don't have to wonder why now. I will never do business with him again. And I actually had a couple of his books. I got rid of all of them. So, that's just the way it has to be. As far as Western fans, the Lone Ranger is an important Western character in all of the venues and all of the mediums, with film and books and comics and everything. Radio. And I would have loved to have talked about those aspects in relation to his books. Not going to happen on this channel. So, I'll smoke my pipe and have a pint later and put it behind me. But the moral of the story is be careful who you admire and who you're dealing with, because there are. This must be nearing the end now. There are unscrupulous people everywhere, even in the pulp fiction community. I've encountered more than him. Here we go. In that community, there are often more egos than talent, and that's a shame. So let me munch on this for a minute here. Good pipe, good smooth. Captain Black, people make fun of it. Captain Black Cherry is an old standard. Any of the Captain Black tobaccos are worth your time. I've tried other tobaccos too. There's a couple other brands that I like. So I'll get back to that later. But in the meantime, for you pipe smokers out there, tip of the hat to you as I'm smoking my Savinelli. And ruminating on being ripped off by a moron. Which is really a shame. I hope he's doing well, though. I don't have any personal hard feelings, except I think he's a jerk. You can be a man or you can be less than a man in life. You have to make your decision when you're doing things. And we all get knocked down. We all fall down. We all have to get up and keep moving and try to conduct ourselves in a reasonable manner. But that particular gentleman did not, nor does he, according to the people that know him better than I do. And that's my little chat with my... Yeah, this is getting to the end. I had been smoking it before I turned the camera on. This is really a nice pipe. You'll see me again in the summer at the cabin with my pipe, probably on camera. In the meantime, have yourself a good smoke. Find yourself a good book to read. Stay well, stay happy, feed your beautiful minds. Smoke a pipe and read a book.